Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Survivor Started Story podcast. This is episode number 36, and I'm your host, LibraGod90. I'm with Nia in the studio, and we also have welcome to the team to the second main edition, which is Dwight. Dwight is my second main. For now, we'll see how things go. We'll see how he behaves. I got a video coming out. I got one of my editors, Ruby, working on a video. He's in the studio, right? He's gonna be doing, he's in the back, just kind of mixing things up real fast. He should have that video done within less than 2 days. And then my guy Shadow, he's still working on the new thumbnail for the live streams for the channel. And then he's gonna also, have the video thumbnail for the latest one that Ruby's working on. And then I should have a Discord. I think a Discord would really work for me. I think it would really help. But shout out to them guys. I'm just too busy. I just don't have time. All I do is work, man. And I've been at my job 2 years, never missed a day of work. And a lot of stuff has been going on at work. So that's why it's just listen, I wash dishes, as I tell you already. I just do my own thing. I don't really worry too much about other people. Little hiccups there, here and there, but when you work alone, you pretty much set your own hours on what works for you. I pretty much run things how I run it. So, but that's why it's nice to have somebody who can actually edit the videos, who I can actually trust, who's pretty good and is pretty good for the prices. I'm talking, I don't even pay more than on average $30 in between both of those guys to do the thumbnails for me. I don't always release videos. I don't. I try to do these weekly podcast episodes. I still try to commit to them. I'm very tired. I try to commit to them. But I just have a lot going on. But I want to read some stuff. Oh, and by the way, before I get to that, the newest video is going to kind of be about, because I ain't gonna lie, 2 live streams ago, I almost once uninstalled DBD. It got to that point where I'm going against the newer Freddy, and right now he's standing at almost 70% kill rate at 68%. He's the number one used killer in the game right now. But you got to think, this is a long anticipated update and rework to Freddy. A lot of people wanted to play as him. They wanted this rework just as bad as they wanted the update to the Hillbilly. So you got to understand that the number is going to be kind of inflated because he just got reworked. At this point, he's no different than the newest killer being played when it comes to pick rates, because people just kind of want to see how the newer Freddy is going to do against really good survivors. I always say at the end of it that most survivors are just potatoes or average. When you look at how this community is, just go on Twitter, if you go, or X, whatever you want to call it, you'll see how noobish this community is, and just what they focus on. A lot of them aren't trying to be trying to learn how to be sweaty and comp players and all that. Not saying that isn't a huge community in itself, but there's a lot of people who are just this community is very sexualized. I think over sexualized pixels too much, in my opinion, for my taste. But a lot of them are just they simp for the killers a lot of time in solo queue, which most people play solo queue. Most people are not in Swift. Most people, especially who are grown adults, who have children, who have a full-time job, who have pets, they're not always ready with a sweaty Swift the way killers like to think Swifts are. And if you do find people to play with, you can find that time after work. Hey, be on at 5 p.m. We're all going to be off work by that time. It doesn't mean that people are automatically going to be very good at and cracked out at the game. That's just a thing I try to get killers to understand. But it just got to the point where it was just man, I'm going against a Freddy who just seemed like he's just unbearable. I already know how he's gonna be, and of course, if you are a killer, man, you're loving it. If you hate playing Survivor or hate Survivor, you're in heaven. But it is what it is. And it was just the views aren't hitting the way I needed to hit, and I'm making content from a game that I got just very frustrating in, and I'm trying to just not think about bad matches so much. I was playing with one of my favorite people that I like to watch, and I just had a bad game. And, I try to not be too hard on myself, because we got to remember that this game is asymmetrical. I know there are plenty of like bots in this community that want this game to be more than what it is. They introduced MMR into this community. It doesn't really work because the way this game is set up, it's the first PvP game I've ever played where there's no natural comms against each other, or just in general, like you have to be in like a custom lobby. But it's not really that possible to balance a game where you have the killer role being faster automatically than a survivor role. You have to try to work together on gens and all of this stuff, and then so many players have so much agency in this game that like people don't have to do anything. They can literally load into a match and F around and say, I'm not finna do gens, I'm not finna help out with a teammate, I'm not about to do it. And then you have killers. They can choose to, kill you, kill rush you. People say gen rush. I call it kill rush. Kill rush is, hey, I'm either going to try to allow you to get to a safer loop. This is just my opinion. Because if you're going to talk about, like, if you think it's ridiculous that gen rushing is a thing, you think, oh, well, gen rushing is a real thing. You interact with the killer. Well, like, goddamn, the tunneling, the camping. I mean, you're trying to hurry up and get people out the match, ain't you? You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is that, like, again, I mean, I in this episode, I want to talk about, stuff that I see on DBD Rage. I kind of want to do that thing. Like, my guy's working on my thumbnail now. You should be able to get this later today. It is the 3rd, so this is going to be kind of late for those who are members. My boy Midas, Nell, Bob, and Katana, they will get it first. If you want to be a member, it's just $4.99 a month. You get exclusive updates. You get these early. You get these faster. I do apologize for making some time if it's a little bit like it's only one time I had it late past 7 o'clock. It was like 7:30 in the morning, but I pushed the time back for the general people. So that means if you were a member, you still got it before anyone else, just 30 minutes or so. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a good excuse. It's just that I was still waiting on my guy to get the thumbnail done, but I might just still he should be able to get it done. But if not, I'll just use a different thumbnail. But I kind of just want to read some stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think about other games as well. To be like before I get into this, I don't know. Because here's the thing. I put so much into DBD for over the 4 years, almost 5 years now. And I mean, I'm making content, and it's just like I get it. Like people have their moments. People do YouTube forever, and people are always thinking that this stuff can happen in like a year, that you get like 1 million subscribers. Well, that could happen, right? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's not that probable. Like people have to really understand and really wrap their heads around the difference between probability and possibility. Okay? Likely and what's not likely. And though it could happen, there's a very small percentage of somebody that can just blow up off of a video. You still have to put in the work. You still have to put in the grind. And that's fine. I don't mind it. But it just seems like sometimes like you're making content, this community is saturated with the content that it makes. And then you try to make these. And I enjoy making these, yo. I get to just sit in front of my laptop in my own place and I'm just relaxing and chilling. So I'm not like, I'm on my mic that my Rode podcast mic that cost me almost cost me almost $300, like $268. And I take very good care of this mic. I have an old computer. I still have to get a newer one, but I mean, it still works. I had this computer for 6 years now. But the point is that, like, yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing these audio podcasts. I always tell people, if you guys don't listen to these, please listen to this as you guys are driving. Try not to focus too much on, like, the pinpoints. Like, if I'm sometimes rambling, this is what this is for. Like, I don't think I've heard, like, any bad comments about my podcast outside of some people might want it longer, which now that's why I've been trying to make it work for like an hour and stuff. So sometimes, I mean, just try to just focus on like your mission, your objectives in the everyday world and everyday life. It's Monday today. Most people hate Mondays because they have to go to work. I never understood why Garfield said that, because he never had to work. But me, I don't work on Sundays or Mondays, so I'm chilling for the rest of the day. I might live stream a little bit later. I might finish my taxes and stuff like that, and stuff that I got to do. But yeah, this is just for you guys to just listen to on Apple it's available on Spotify, Apple Podcast. I released it at the same time. I have YouTube Premium, so I can always listen to these. Like, I love YouTube Premium. By the way, I can, watch shows. Like, I gotta keep it. It's like almost $20 a month, but like, yo, I don't have to worry about ads. I'm good. So you can listen to this with the screen locked. Or I recommend YouTube Music if you already have that, but most of you guys probably also have like Apple Music, so it's kind of different. But the point is, just listen to these. These are just gonna be audio. And I think that people, like, if you go to the community, you go to YouTube, people have these DBD podcasts. They do. I'm not the only one, but these are very good. So I know I prattle a lot and talk about like a whole lot, but I just kind of want to like have that main point is just listen to these. If I go off the rails, who cares? You're just listening just to hear me talk, and that's fine. Okay. I want to read some stuff from DBD Rage. DBD Rage is probably like my favorite post to read from Reddit. I was trying to look for Twitter. I do want to also have some for Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I do want to have some for that as well. But today we might just focus on Reddit, because Reddit just always seems to have like the best stuff, right? Stuff that just seems like just wow, or it just doesn't make sense. But let's just see. Let's just read some stuff, right? I'm gonna kind of go off that, like, just different ones too. I probably won't read all of the comments, but we'll just see. DBD Rage, or Dead by Daylight Rage. This is from Cats R something. I don't know the full name. All right, so the it's a survivor shame post, right? So if you are on Reddit, you'll see that it shows survivor shame. Okay, so it says, I'm a solo queue player, but at least I try to cooperate. It says Zarina was getting tunneled, and I do apologize if I'm kind of like speaking over my words. I'm a little bit tired, and I don't know why, but you have to kind of bear with me here. Zarina was getting tunneled. I took a hit, but she continued tunneling. Claudette didn't heal me and keeps running away after hearing Terror Radius. I went to unhook Zarina while healthy, although a killer... What? You said, I went to unhook Zarina while healthy, although killer might have known it because I have deliverance. I'm sorry, sometimes when I read these, it's not even just me. Like, sometimes, like, it's a typo. Okay, it says, rescue Zarina, I got hooked, unhooked myself, and got hooked again near the gate. Mind you, both Fung and Claudette weren't hooked at all. Killer did not have Noah, but they just stood at exit gate looking in my direction. Okay. So it just seems like, of course, people got to realize too, like with solo queue, even if you just have like one other person, like I'll play with a survivor that's a supporter of mine, right? My boy Meta, shout out to Meta. Y'all gotta understand too, like when you just don't have comms, it's so bad in this game. Solo queue. Solo queue is literally the hardest thing in this game, and you guys try to like, I mean like Killer, man. They try to like, because they want to keep Killer the way it is, and they want to be justified for why things are the way they are, even though they know it's BS, right? And see, they don't main survivors, so they could care less what we really go to. It's not the same. They don't feel it. But when you just have like survivors that just will not pitch in and not help out, it's an uphill battle. It's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna help. And it is what it is. Like, there's nothing we really can say about it. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just try, but you just won't get far. Because you have to have, like, full cooperation from your teammates. And it just doesn't seem to happen. And you got a lot of teammates who are very new. And it's hard to fault a new player when they're new. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand the game. You have a lot of people who want to be very altruistic. They want to bully the killer. So it's just not everybody tries to win in solo queue. Like right now, the thing that's keeping me having a little bit of fun in DBD right now is me just doing my locker stuff and not caring about what a killer does. Like trying to just keep it game by game, not taking it to where I'm holding on to that last match that I had a killer that wanted to tunnel me, or I didn't know where the pallet was, because like, I got very frustrated when I had a game against the Freddy and I could have just brought my Windows opportunity, but I'm playing solo queue and I don't have call outs of what happened, like, well, where's my pallet at, so now I'm just bringing what I want and I'm just doing locker stuff, and that's the thing that's keeping me fun. So Solo queue has been somewhat fun lately because I just don't care. I just jump in locker, scare killer. If it catches me, hit me on hook, okay, I'll laugh. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, and then so to respond to that, they have on the Dead by Daylight Rage, the Haunted Archive said, "I get it. It's frustrating. I'm sorry. It says I get it's frustrating, but there's no comms on solo queue, and it makes cooperating harder. It's most likely going to be a trade anyway, and one person is likely to die, and unfortunately, it was you. You have to consider they might be newer players too and still learning. Exactly. It's the same thing I said before. They're newer players, likely. That's pretty much what it was. Then if they read the chat, they'll learn. Okay, that's what somebody who said who was from. Wait, hold on. Did I just? Okay. That was from Free Manic Delic. I can't speak their name. Haunted says, I wish people would criticize doing the better play rather than being the C word about it, though. They're not going to listen to people being rude in in-game chat. And then Free Manic says, bro is making out it's impossible to save in in-game, so in slow queue when it really isn't. Sorry that we don't all want to continue the circle of here's a free kill for you, killer GG. Most of the time, I go hard to get my teammates out. It's good to educate others to stop being so afraid and try it themselves. Right, hold on. He said, bro, it's making out it's impossible to save in in-game and solo queue when it really isn't. See, this is the one thing, and I think I'm reading his stuff correctly. I think this is a guy that is making it. Hold on, I just want to finish her post. He said, "I know, but then a lot of them attempt." This is from Haunted Archives, by the way. He said I know, but then a lot of them attempt saving at the worst times, resulting in a 3 or 4K instead of 1K. Sometimes it's better to just let them get the 1K. Yeah. So this is the one thing, and I hope you guys understood what I was saying. Let me read the in-game chat because I didn't get a chance to read that. Claudette and Fung grow some balls. Exit is nearby, but still too coward to unhook. So this person basically, what I get from this is the Nia. This is the Nia, by the way. He wanted to get the save and try to get everybody out. And I guess two survivors, the Fung and the Claw, was too afraid to unhook or something like that, and then them leaving or something like that. And then one of the girls, Haunted Archive, said, hey, you're not gonna be able to get everybody to leave with you. Sometimes it's just best to give the killer a 1K, which is something I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you're trying to go for. Do you care about escaping? Do you care about not winning? Do you care whatever? And then somebody said, well, hey, and these be like one of the worst survivors to me, in my opinion, because I think they don't understand, or it's an ego boost or trip. I really don't know. But like basically one of the guys was like, well, if you read the chat, basically saying that, hey, if they would have read the chat, hey, grow some balls, you can try to get them out. It's not impossible to try to, get all of your teammates out or try to get more saves, and you just got to do it the right way. And then the Haunted Archive said something which I totally agree with is, hey, well, a lot of times they do it at the worst time and end up trading and end up resulting in like more kills than just 1K. Too many times I have had survivor remains, especially when I cared about trying to win that match. Well, literally the match would go from us doing pretty well, we splitting gens, there's, one gen left, the killer got some hook stages, but not many. And then, like, literally the killer says, okay, I'm going to try to get the game. Again, you already know how I feel about slugging as far as, like, tactical ways and trying to get things back in y'all favor. Is, okay, hey, they got to slug, they got to camp, they got to tunnel, they got to do something to try to get a kill. And they got to hope that maybe they can try to attract flies, or bees with honey by trying to camp the hook and hope that they get some altruism teammates, or altruistic teammates, I should say, to try to get the save and trade, etc. And hopefully for the killer, resulting in more kills, right? And like the thing about that guy Free Manic or whatever his name was is that like he doesn't seem to care to understand or just overlooking reality. That most of the time you're not going to get everybody out. I don't care how well you try it. It's not that hard for killer. Like you're basically the killer doesn't have to patrol gens anymore at this point. If they're trying to like camp, if they're camping someone, right? If they're camping someone on hook, I want y'all to understand this. If I'm a trapper or I'm a Bubba, whatever, especially certain killers where they have this instant down mechanic. Like I literally had somebody try to argue with me about it's a way you do it against a Bubba. It's just so stupid. Especially with every situation, it's nuanced, so it's not always like specifically like you got boom, 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 and all this formula is gonna work. That's not how it works. But more times than not, if a killer is camping and it's in game and they have nothing else to do, they don't have to worry about patrolling their 3-gen. They don't have to worry about the chances of you trying to get everybody out against a killer that can just camp and just hit the person that is unhooking them, and as soon as they do it again, the killer wipe his blade off. Mind you, killer has a less of a cooldown to wipe their blade off or wipe their weapon off, and they can just get back and they hit you again. You're pretty much just gonna go back down, and then all you're doing is just the person that you unhooked, they're about to die. Now you're about to die. Y'all try to keep resetting, and it's just gonna keep happening. And then the end game collapses, and then now you're in a situation where it's a problem. And then it's always one person that's going to be stuck on that hook because all y'all doing is trading. And then worst case scenario, y'all going to continue to get hit, get down, get put on hook to where the killer just going to end up getting more kills eventually. And so this is what I like. It's kind of hard in solo queues because people want to try to win in solo queue, but you got so many people who don't understand the game and they just don't care about winning. And this is why it's like I'm trying to like just not care. But see, I want to talk about this real fast before I get back into like talking about reading some more Reddit posts. So this past week I was just playing Dwight, goofy Dwight. I got on like the default skin, but I got like the P3 shirt, but then I also got like some joggers on with socks, right? That was tired. So a lot of people like Dwight. Top 10 chosen survivor in the game. He's the original, the OG survivor. Like, that's why he's number one. And people just like playing with him. And I'm just, goofing around, playing around. I mean, my boy Midas and them in the chat laughing. I'm just jumping in and out of lockers as far as like using my head on, stuns and stuff like that. Just having a good time, just trying to vibe, trying not to care about winning. I do that with my Nia as well too, just jumping in, I'm using her or I'm using Sabo, right? I get a Elodie, I think it's an Elodie, literally like spamming open the locker. And here's the thing about trying to get these plays off in solo queue that sucks, is that like, if you're in Swift, like I'm talking about 4-man. I ain't talking about like even the 3-man, because you might still get the survivor that might try to sandbag you. I'm talking about you get a Swift and you get people that want to play. Cool. It's easier to pull those plays off because you got people who knows what you're doing versus somebody in solo queue who think that you're just trying to hide and not participate to help win the game. Even if I were hiding and I'm brand new to the game, because a lot of people don't seem to understand that MMR is not really a thing in this gaming like that anymore, and it doesn't even work for real. And you just got people like if you just dumb it down to simply for survivor, I don't care how many gens you run them for, I don't care how well you did in chase, I don't care, because honestly, in my personal opinion, the best thing the survivor is really value on is how long they can entertain the killer's time, right? It's not you being a gen jockey, it's not you being any of that. But my point is that if you can do all of that and yet you still die, you just go down in MMR and you just get worse and worse teammates. And if you're not playing with friends all the time, I remember watching this guy's video the other day, I forgot his name, but he just got like a few hundred more subscribers than I do. He's a killer, man. He literally said, hey, like, he argued that this game is killer sided. It's meant for killer to win. And he broke it down chef's kiss. The way he broke it down made so much sense. And he said, like, most people play in solo queue. How many people just have ready friends to just play? And like, again, It's not like I'm saying like, okay, hey, at 5 o'clock we always meet after work and play the game. Yes, there are some dedicated fans and gamers that can do that, but especially adults who have a life and things going on, they can't just always be on the game. Especially if you're not even like making content from it. Like they can't just always be on the game, yo. So I just want people to understand, like, when I'm playing with randos and I'm trying to like do plays and funny, goofy plays, and I'm in a locker, but then a locker door, they open up the locker to where you can't get out unless you like jump out. And then they're hoping that the killer will come see you. That, oh, sorry, that like you're not doing anything. So that happened actually twice in one match. So then she wanted me to. So here's the thing. So then she wanted me to heal her. And I said, no, I'm not finna heal you because you want to be on that BS. And I just ran away. Like, you're not finna try to use me for my help now after you just did some BS. Another game, I think it was either as Arena or it was or it was somebody. Literally told the killer where I was at by following the locker, like, or finding me or whatever, because I guess they were both searching for me. And again, I keep trying to tell people this, right? Bannable offenses does not include camping, slugging, tunneling, even bleeding out, dry humping, BMing, whatever. That's not what that is, okay? What's bannable offenses is you teaming up with either side, right? So if you are a killer, you teaming up with survivor because you want to find the last survivor to kill them, and then, okay, good girl, good boy, you did the evil good deed, so now I'm just going to go ahead and give you hatch. See, that's bannable, right? Body blocking so I can't move is bannable. Working with the killer, telling the killer where I'm at and holding up the locker door, that's bannable. And then the killer was on the console, the other person wasn't, but I was able to. And this was a different match, by the way. And I'm like, hey man, you do know like what you did was bannable. I'm saying what he or she was about to say because I was just gonna let it go. But after I didn't even get a response, I just reported and just said it was griefing or whatever. But now, granted, I'm not on PC. I don't have that on chat text box or whatever you have at the in-game chat, and I can't even like, even when I do report it, I can't even like text it. At least I don't think I can on console. Y'all let me know if you can in the comments. But yeah, so but to make a long story short, yeah, trying to just assume that you can win in solo queue, just doing like the right thing by just doing this, you still got it. Takes 4 survivors, bro. It takes 4 survivors to just like literally be on their stuff, and you got people who just will not do it. Okay, so I just want to be clear. Even if you have 5,000 hours into the game and all that stuff, it just doesn't work. But anyway, and I think that was just it for that one. I'm gonna go and see about another one. I'm just reading these real fast. Let me see. It says Creepy Judgment says, this is another one. It says, don't rage quit if being toxic come to bite you later. This is a Survivor Shame post. So he says, so I was playing killer and normally I shut my brain off. I was on a spirit at the time and the survivor group brought an offering. Okay. Naturally I was annoyed, but played it anyway. The survivor was bagging at every pallet, so naturally I ignored them. They tried to take hits, but still ignored them. Eventually they grabbed a flashlight from a deceased teammate. I hate how he put deceased. Like it's real for like deceased. Right? Teammate and clicked it following me. This was nonstop. Eventually, I got tired of them and decided to chase them. They lasted about 20 seconds. Typical. They DC'd instantly. At the end of the match, during the end game, one messaged me, and I expected the usual assault from a 3K last got hatch, but they messaged me to say thank you. Apparently, they did nothing to help their teammate or their team, and even tried to sandbag somehow. I didn't ask how. I just said you're welcome and moved on. I'm using the word toxic lightly in this scenario, and only because of the survivor told me. But I just don't understand why you're begging for attention then rage quit instantly. The other 3 looped crazy well though. I'm still surprised I won the match. It was a very close game, and honestly I hope they see this to know how well they played. Okay. This person didn't get any comments. And maybe I'll comment if I can. Let me see. Nice post. Hopefully somebody. I mean, I don't know. It says my karma is low. It like when I try to post something, it keeps saying my karma's low. Like I don't know, but I just decide to give them that. So yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like when you have teammates that are just do with that, I guess the spirit that went up against a survivor that just wanted to like, get the killer's attention, and then of course they're trash and chase. They go down in 20 seconds, running into nothing, being very toxic because people can do that in this game. It's not a problem. This is just like one of the very teammates I'm talking about. I just want people to understand like this is like why it happened. And then imagine being a teammate that knows how to run killer, that knows how to. I made a funny post the other day. I said, "Are you even if no one's on gens? Are you even looping? Like, are you really even looping if no one's on gens? It's almost like that. If a tree falls, in a forest and no one's around, does it make a sound? I mean, I think it obviously makes a sound. We're just not around to hear it, but it makes a sound. So obviously, yeah, are you looping regardless if people are on gens? But I still think it's funny because the concept is, well, does it matter, right? Does the sound of the tree falling in the forest when that no one's around matters, or make a sound if no one's if no one's around the forest and a tree falls, does the sound matter if no one's around? Same thing with this. Does it matter that you're running and killer in this game, your mind game and all? I mean, sure. Listen, I love a good mind game. I love a good chase. I love to learn and to get better and better and better and better and better, right? I love that idea of that. That's why I played the game as long as I have, right? As I quickly racked up the 8K hours. However, you can't force people to do things. You can't force people, and like people have like their own type of like timing on what they want to do. Okay. And I remember like a couple of years ago, maybe 3, a Jane or a Kate or somebody literally body blocked me from escaping a huntress, and I died in Area Crow. And I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why did you be a hoe? You are a hoe in real life and in on the game. It's fine, but just remember you are a hoe for that. Why did you do that? And literally said, well, okay, I guess one of her one of her teammate died, and she probably thought I could have got her, but I chose not to. I don't know what happened. Because again, we don't have comms, so you don't know what I'm doing. She was just like, well, you let my friend die, and me and Kate have to stick together. It's just stupid shit. Like, what are you talking about? And you don't even know what's going on. Like, you don't even know if it was just like a simple misunderstanding. But like, no, you just wanted to do what you wanted to do, and that's just what it is. So you're trying to like hope that I have that. And then they messaged the person, and I guess they said they thought, I'm talking about the post now. I thought it was going to be salt, but they said thank you because they just want to help their teammate out. So I don't know. You have a lot of weird, like I come from sports gaming, like I come from like fighting games, and then I come to like DBD, and I'm meeting different types of like mindset and people, men and women. I mean, this is the first game I've played where there are like a bunch of women that play this game. So it's just like, it's very diverse. So I'm just trying to like, understand people's, point of view. Let's read another one. Let's see. This is a killer shame. Hold on. I don't know if I want to read that. This is on public opinion. People abusing, but I don't know. Okay. Let me see. Really dumb teammates, of course. Okay, let's read this one. This is the killer rage. This is a killer that's very upset, I think. It says, it really sucks. Okay, that's the title. It says, forced to run slow down because gens are getting done way too fast. Going again, mind you, they added 10 seconds to a gen based mechanic, I think almost 3 years ago now. They added 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And before I continue reading the whole thing, I want to be clear. You have to fight fire with fire in this community. Again, unfortunately, you just have to fight fire with fire, or don't care about winning. I think that the thing is that people care too much about winning. And I know it sounds weird, but I want y'all to understand that, I'm gonna give my take after this whole thing. It says, going against back-to-back map offerings, and even when I don't, it's the same map, coordinated swift back-to-back, sucking all the fun out of it. I don't know. I got less than 400 hours in this game, and it's getting very boring. That's very tough, especially if you don't have that many hours into this game. And then it's easier for you to think this game is meant for survivors to be killer when you are just very inexperienced. And then you try to get people to understand the logic that, hey, listen, man, just because you're new or you suck, it's not the reality. Kill rates are, I think, at right now, last time I checked, was like 56% average. I mean, it's just the average. It doesn't mean you're bad or good. You're just fall right in line the bell curve. It's average. But so many times people have the freedom to just jump on these on the internet and come to these posts and they just talk about their feelings. They dump their feelings and their traumas and they talk about these things. And again, I don't want to ignore people's feelings and how they feel, but I just want people to understand reality. Most survivors do not know what they're doing. Yeah, you're having frustrating game, but it doesn't mean you're losing the game. A lot of times people complain and then they sit here and talk about these things, but they don't think about overall. Did you win the game? Did 3 survivors escape? Or did you just have a rough time and then you still won the game? Okay. This is Seth something. This is from the same post I just read from the Killer Rage. It says, so what were games like before 3K, 4K? What are they now? What are they like now? And then I think Amnesty says still average a 3. No, I'm saying it still average a 2 to 3K. Getting 2K is definitely a bit harder now, especially since I don't play very strong killers. And then Seth something says it's not a BA. Okay, see, I want you to understand. I'm not trying to like talk over my words, but like when I'm reading some of these posts, like I'm literally trying to figure out what the hell they're talking about. So I think Seth was trying to say not to be a dick, but he said not a be a dick. Like that's literally like what it said. He said not a be a dick. That's literally what he says. And I'm already tired. Like I'm very tired, like exhausted. He says not to be a dick, but I had a feeling you were gonna say what you did. A 3K is still a win. Yep. A 2K is a draw, exactly, but it means you are going against opponents that you should be going against. I started playing killer as a survivor main, and I can't stand how easy it is right now. The few times where I've gotten bully squads, that was actually fun, but maybe I don't mind losing as much as killer because I play solo queue. Exactly. See, and that's just somebody just getting people to understand like what this game still is, even after since the 6.1.0 patch. And the devs talk about it, before. He said, the formerly lead dev Patrick said, a 2K is a draw, 3K is a win. That means you still win the game. So when killers are, I got to slug up for the 4K, or I don't feel like I've won because I didn't kill everybody. Yeah, that's not what you feel like. But reality is, hey, you didn't lose that game, brother. You didn't lose that game. Again, understandable. You want to win every game. Maybe you are just very competitive. But reality is reality. Okay. Glititron. Okay. It said, first off, you're not being a dick. It's a fair statement. But I get what OP is saying. I have 2K plus hours in DBD, and I'm currently taking a break from it. I started my break just as Chaos Shuffle was ending. During Chaos Shuffle, all of my games except for 3 were map offerings, separating hooks, and flashlight sabo squads. I was still getting 3 to 4Ks, but it still sucks so much of the fun out of it. Exactly. And please understand this, y'all. Killer, listen, I appreciate killers who don't like hard camp, slug, and tunnel. But I understand when killers feel like they need to do that to win the game and get things back in their favor. But please understand that anytime if a killer wanted to hardcore camp, hardcore tunnel, they very well could. And there's virtually nothing you can do about it. Killer can enjoy a hot bowl of soup and just hold you right on the hook by him with just one hand or one arm by himself, and there's nothing that the teammates can do about it but just cry about it and lose. There's nothing you can do about it. So I think that killers deserve some grace when they are not trying to play that sweaty. But just understand, they can do it anytime they want to. So killers, here's the thing. Y'all can always do that. Like, sure, is it fun? No, whatever. Again, I just want to read the last part of this from the guy who have 2,000 hours. said I was this is him talking about the game as far as like after the chaos shuffle ending and map bar ending, whatever. He said I was still getting it between 3 to 4Ks, but it still sucked so much fun out of it. Exactly. So a lot of the time, the killers that are complaining, they're talking about like how the matches are going. But it's like at the end of the day, you should be going against people that's around your level or people who know what they're doing. Because guess what? I can find 3 other survivors who've never played DBD, and I can give them, and I know it might sound like a silly argument. Well, of course, they're new. They're going to have not that much experience. So, of course, like, why would you bring that up? But I got to stop thinking that everybody have like 10,000 hours. Killers always thinking people aren't. So I don't have games where like literally I had a very good game. Like, it was just very good games. And it would seem or feel like we were in a Swift, but then the killer would think that we were actually in a Swift, and like, no, we're not. We're not actually in a Swift at all. We were actually just random. Maybe some of them were Swifting or two-manning, but I don't know any of these people here. Okay. So you gotta stop just thinking that everybody's in a sweaty Swift. Everybody's playing. You gotta stop just thinking that. That's just my opinion. Okay. Amnesty, or however he spelled that, he says, no, I get it from a kill ratio perspective, but from perspective, 2K is definitely a win for me. I don't try the hardest and goof around a bit in matches, so going against these playstyles is definitely draining a bit. Yeah, and a lot of times, like, people got to realize, too, like, the expectations of you wanting to, like when Survivor walk up to a killer and thinking they're about to be friendly, some survivors don't care about y'all trying to be friendly as killer or no. I think, like, what if they went up against a toxic nemesis that was like Slug camped and tunnel, and then in the very next match you are that nemesis. You're a different nemesis, but you are a nemesis nonetheless. And then you're trying to meme around. No, they're like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and try to general rush. I'm trying to have my looping build. I'm not gonna trust that you're gonna be friendly, because I've had killers trying to be friendly before and they just weren't. So you gotta look at it from that perspective. That, like, we just don't know these days, man. I done got fooled by a Myers helping me kill my own teammate because I was trying to, I guess I pointed to where they were and I didn't know that he was trying to whatever, and then ended up still killing me. Right, you know what I mean? So I definitely get it. This is for Finding Corey. It says, for the map issue, I recommend putting up a sacrificial ward. This will disregard any map offering provided by other players and cause a totally random realm each time. Which is so weird. Again, they still made the icon brown and not just leave it green. It still works the same, so I don't know why. You said you have a relatively low amount of hours, so there's still a lot to learn, and you'll get better over time. So don't worry too much. For this problem in the forcible use of slowdowns, what killers do you play? Perhaps you... it says perhaps your perks might need more synergy to apply more pressure on the survivors, making games easier to win. Very good point. Again, when you guys have very low hours, you have to understand that you guys are like, but it just shows you just like how easily corrupt these survivors, these killer and survivors can get. Because if you have a community, right, I just don't think that people are held accountable or hold each other accountable the way they could be in this community. Let me explain. That was a very good point to get them to understand. Like, hey, you have very low hours. You have to learn, like, again, you have to play both sides. It's still recommended. If you play killer, play survivor. If you play survivor, play killer. Play both sides. That's how I got better, because I started to understand how killers seen things, how survivors seen things, and it just made it easier. So whatever role I would play, I would understand what they're doing. Again, I still just don't play much killer. But my point is that, like, when you have a community in this game where it's always about shaming and blaming your opponent for what they are choosing to do, so if you're saying, well, how do I counteract that? How do I get to the point where I'm not just doing that and keep losing because it's not making sense that this is what I'm doing? That's what y'all have to, like, sort of get to. But we don't do that. You know what we do? We blame, we shame, we insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Shout out to, the late great Kevin Samuels for that one. But the point is that, yeah, people are just looking to cry online and hope they find other people just like them so they can feel connected. They can feel like, hey, you feel what I'm saying, right? You get it. So somebody just saying, like, what Finding Corey just said, hey, you have a tremendously low amount of hours at 400 or 5, whatever he has. And even at 1,000, 2,000 hours, you still have tons to learn. I mean, what? I'm around 8K hours. So there's a whole lot that I was still learning in that time to be refined. Right. And it's just so different when you have that many hours and you forget how new people can really be. But he also realized how cocky survivors can be at low hours and killers can be. And they think that they're just like hot stuff until they actually run up against that killer or that survivor that'll like show them different. Like, you know what I mean? Almost done. Got like 15 minutes left on the shift. I'm very tired. He said, this is a very good reply. Hopefully that he'll keep playing and learn more about the game. And final question said, thanks man, this game is like a rabbit hole in a sense that there's always more to learn and refine, which is why I love it and encourage others to play too. I play both sides, perhaps maybe a little more a survivor, but I don't understand the disingenuous comments here. Man's just trying to learn after all. Exactly. Here's the thing too. I do want to talk about like how I talk about like skill expression in this game. I do want to talk about that a bit. So the issue I have is, if you play more, you'll learn more. Okay, you'll learn how, like if you play in Survivor, you'll learn how to refine your loops. You'll learn like where things could spawn. People always try to make the argument that, oh boy, if you run Windows, it's a crutch and all this type of stuff. And yes and no. I mean, I think that it just, based on how you play it. It's one thing to understand that you're just running to yellow and you just see pallets and vaults. And again, this is not the old Kate perk back in the Kate Denson's perk where, if you vaulted a pallet that was yellow, that if you had windows on, if you threw a pallet down that you seen with yellow, if you, just did that, it would take away the cooldown would like hide the aura of the yellow palace. Now they've made it where it's completely all yellow. And again, I did a video of just like me just running and holding it to yellow, just holding forward, not looking behind me. And that's pretty strong, especially depending on the killer you're going against, because they're just like a basic attack killer. And you're just like, where all the pallets are and you're just running. I mean, it's helping you, sure, but I just think that the issue is, I try to get people to understand, is that Windows, all that stuff doesn't make you a better looper. It just shows you what's available. I mean, again, if you guys are going to hesitate throwing pallets, or you're just like panic dropping and the killer can sense and read that you're scared and that they double back, then they can make a swift good outplay and they can catch you like that. And that's you having Windows opportunity on, right? It doesn't make you a better looper. It just shows you what things are. And I got to understand, in this game, you don't control the RNG. RNG is real in DBD. Tile spawns, totem spawns. Okay, and again, most people play solo queue. They're not all in Swifts. They're not all in mega Swifts, y'all. They're all learning. So, but what I don't like is them taking away skill expression. That I don't appreciate. Burning Wraith was one of the most, like, something that no one really, like, you have to think you could do that. And then you be like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. That wasn't like an obvious thing you just seen. Like, oh, I can burn him out of his, like, no. You probably just, whoever discovered it probably was just like, let's just see how this works. Oh, wow. Or being able to burn the crows away. See, they took away, Sky Billy or whatever. They took away so many, like fun stuff in DBD. They just took it away. And so even though I agree completely, like, yeah, just the more you play, the more you'll understand what you need to do. I still think it sucks that they just, like, took away, like, the skill expression. Okay. And I'm very tired. I won't even lie. I'll probably read, like, a couple more. It's been 48 minutes. It's, like, 2:08 a.m. Central Standard Time, whatever. He said, yeah, when I first started, but this is user 2262. Hold on. It says, when I first started playing, I had stuck to Survivor, and after getting my fair amount of playtime, I swapped to being 80% killer, 20% Survivor. There's so much I can still learn in my 2,000 hours in this game. It's honestly incredible. True, man, true. Amnesty says, sack wars definitely help, but I'm too greedy for those BPs slowly creeping up Prestige 3, so yeah, they're pretty much talking about P3s and stuff. Okay, this is Neon Tofu. It says you aren't forced to run slowdowns. Prioritize having fun over 4Ks every game. Get over map offering, just play. You aren't going against. You said you aren't going against a coordinated Swift every single game. You sound like you are burnt out. I suggest taking a break, come back with a better outlook and a level head. Make a good point. Okay, hold on. Like it says, hold on. The Amnesty says, no, it's probably just a time I'm playing, but definitely Swifts get a lot of hate messages. Map offerings are annoying. Take them out. Not burnt out. I still have fun, but the same meta for stack perks is definitely not fun to go against every single match. Doesn't sound like you're having fun to me, champ, and fun is subjective. Yeah, so they both just started to argue. So I'll close out like this. I agree with Nia. I think at some point it was just like he was just saying, hey, that just play the game. You're not going against Swift every single match. And it again, it's like there's Swift and then there's like coordinated Swifts. Like coordinated Swifts are going to be the survivors with like a lot of hours and they know what they're doing. And then there are just people who just playing with their friends because they just heard about DBD. And I think that like that's what Neon was trying to tell them, like, hey, you're not going against like a 4-man stack of Elysium and Team Eternal and comp stage, and if you don't beat them, you can't pay your rent with this money. Like that's not how it works. But again, a lot of times people hear what they want. It's just how it is. But I'm not gonna ignore how frustrating it can be for killers, that Amnesty guy or whatever, who just saying, hey, it's just very annoying. And there's nothing wrong with just voicing your opinions on how you feel about these things. Okay, well, listen, check this out, man. I cannot go any longer. Pause. I am very tired. It's been basically 52 minutes. So that's close to an hour. I enjoy reading these. I mean, again, I know how crazy this stuff can be on Reddit, what they may say. But yeah, I mean, I'm just glad to have been able to make these and enjoy and have people enjoy them. So that's just all it's about. But listen, you let me you let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. What you guys think about anything. I don't care what, even if it's just not about the video. Just think about like the current DBD. Are you having fun or are you burnt out? I mean, I have my days, my moments. I still come back to DBD. I still play it, but I don't know. I still want to do like variety at some point. So we definitely have to see about that. But other than that, I enjoy making this. I enjoy doing this with you guys. So please leave a like. Share this with people that don't know about me. Maybe we can get some more fans to the channel who wants to hear these things. And listen, if I get more subscribers and people liking these, I'll make a merch. It's just me having like I'll pay somebody to like design and like I do with my hoodie. My hoodie's more of like if you are watching like the live streams. If I was getting views on like the funny stuff, then you would understand why to buy the hoodie. But hey, I would love to have like a merch design for like my podcast. So around that, so like when you guys are listening to this, you guys can just hear me talk, sipping out of a cup, the podcast cup, sipping out of wearing the shirts when I'm doing this in the morning, or hey, you're just going to work, So that's just all it's about. So just keep that in mind. Just keep doing that. Keep grinding every single day. But hey, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay safe out here. And if nothing else, peace.